Hey, we need to talk about your friends. Are they treating you alright? We are sometimes like misunderstanding some things that people do just because, they're our friends, we don't want to hurt them, we don't want to lose them. But sometimes when we are losing up our, you know, borders, our the things that makes us sad, when, they are breached, for example, like when people are not respecting our time and stuff, we are just going into a big trouble for ourselves. And it's not good because, we want to have a happy life, right? And I even think that our friends, the real friends, want us to have a happy life. They just don't know what they are doing to us, and that it maybe hurts us. But for some reason, we a lot of time just ignore this stuff because we don't want to make them angry, right? We don't want to lose friends. But in actual fact, the friends that are around even when we tell them, that something is wrong, that we don't like something, those are the real friends, right? The people who are gonna get upset, angry, who gonna sulk and run away. And who knows? They think that they were real friends, from the beginning, or they were just, around because it was convenient, or because maybe they just kind of like you, but like not really, because for real, any relationship is about mutual understanding, mutual investment of time, of energy. People are changing in relationships. It doesn't even have to be like a romantic relationship with your partner, right? It's all relationships, even friendships, work relationships, everything. In every relationship there is two people, and well, there could be more, but we are talking about relationships with two people, and the relationship is between them. Like in the middle. It's not entirely one person, not entirely the second person. They both have to contribute. So when you are trying to take responsibility for the other side by, ignoring some stuff, then you are hurting that relationship that could grow into something even better, with more trust, with some more history and stuff. And I'm talking about little details. We usually don't even consider these details to be that important, but when, for example, we are arranging a time of meeting somewhere and the other person doesn't really show up, or they change the time of the meeting at the last minute, or when we are just arranging that we gonna, for example, play games online, right, on, let's say, Wednesday, and that person, you are like, hey, we're gonna get in touch, and you text them and they're like, nothing, right? No response. And texting them again, and in the evening, and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I slept, or I just whatever, I had something going on. Like, how hard it is to inform you so you don't have to keep space in your time, in your day, for them, to jump in whenever they are ready. It really isn't that hard, but it can make you really angry. It's my personal thing right now, and yeah, for some reason it's even better to like judge those people, if you want to call it that. You're just expressing your feeling. You're expressing that you don't like it this way, and it's their choice if they want to change or not. But there's also other part. It's always on the both sides, so it's also your side. Are you clear enough about like making those arrangements? Are you clear enough about like the time? Maybe if you set like a specific time, then there is no excuse to not to be there, or to just ignore that stuff, or postpone it. There could be a lot of different things, but don't forget to include both sides. Sometimes we are focused on our side, but yeah, the other side is present there too. So yeah, include them, please. All right, and yeah, when you clear all your relationships up, it will be a happy, beautiful life, right? Until other thing comes up, and then you're gonna do things again. And it's life. It's beautiful about life. It's evolving, it's growing, it's you know, never the same. It would be so boring if it would be so easy, right? Alright, enjoy and see you in the next video. Goodbye.